From my neck of the woods to yours, Toronto. Take a little more of this guitar, Stevie, and Maria. Thanks, man. All right, we go. A time-traveling number. Yes, this can be anywhere you need it to be. Last night, tomorrow, right now, anywhere. This song will go with you. Like this. Listen up, kids. It's not what you think. Stayed out too late. Had a little too much to drink. Walked home across the bridge. When the marquee shut down. There's a reason that I love this town. I heard it's Lauren's birthday. I'm supposed to say that, right, Lauren? If you're out there, happy birthday. That's all. I read that song. Nobody cares how much money you have. If you've got enough to get in a cab, there'll be drinks on the house. If your house burns down, there's a reason that I love this town. Yes! I saw you back in the early days. We all understand why you moved away, but we'll hold a grudge anyways. We will. Hold on to those grudges for a long time. Keep them close. Entertain yourself. I shut the shit with miniature Tim. If he needs a hit, I could write one for him. We like the same books and we like the same sounds. There's a reason that I love this town. But yes, I've traveled and I've learned one thing alone, and that's not all places are the same. But if they choose to treat you wrong, then choose nightly to pay them back in the song. I played a show in Kelowna last year. They said, pick it up, Joel. We're dying in here. Picture one hand clapping, now picture half that sound. There's a reason why I hate that town. If you saw my band in the early days, thrush harmonies, and you will understand why we moved away. Actually, we decided we would stay, but you held a grudge anyway, because it's fun. That's why I hold the grudges, folks, because it's fun for entertainment purposes. I do other things because they're fun, like wiring these monkeys onto a foot switch. They were battery operated before the tour, and I took them to this guy Melwood, and I said, can you put them on a foot switch with some red lights? And he said, yeah. I said, how much will it cost? He said, $80. I said, that seems awfully cheap. Best $80 I've ever spent. Total satisfaction. It's a feeling of empowerment. Monkeys and the tap of a button. That's what I did, because it's funny. It was the thing was, is we traveled around, I was talking about the old Suburban that rolled $500,000. Well, let me go back in time to the first vehicles. The first one, back in '93, in the Hermit days, we had a number of vehicles. See, this Kelowna verse didn't come out of nowhere, right? It was a traveling verse, and so we got there in a vehicle. The first vehicle was Eddie. We named it Eddie. It was a camper van. It lasted about 3 months. We got it to Ontario and back, and then somebody started living in it. We had to abandon it. So after that, we decided never to name a van again, because it just seemed to be a bad omen, you know? Then we got this half-size school bus next in St. John, New Brunswick, and we put it, kitted it out with bunks. Yeah, we put bunks in it and a gear space, and we named the bunks. You can name the bunks, but you cannot name the van. So we named the bunks. We had all these great names for the bunks. There was one called there was like 5 of them, and there was one that was like in the corner that was really uncomfortable, and there was 5 guys touring. You know, we had the upper bowl and the lower bowl and the tomb. That was one that had no windows, no air. You had to crawl into it. And then there was this one in the corner that everybody called the shits, because it was just so miserable to sleep in. And then there was this one that folded out on in the front, and that was called the comf, if somebody was willing to sleep in the shits. Because then the guy would have this whole couch to himself. But if nobody would sleep in the shits, then the comf would become the snake pit. So we had these 5 bunks that we named. Anyway, that van lasted a couple of years, so that was a bit of a detour. But anyway, that van fell apart, and then we bought a motorhome off Sloan. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what a lemon that vehicle was. Yes, it looked great when we were in it, and they were on tour. It was an amazing dressing room on wheels, but nobody told us that it wouldn't get you where you needed to go very often. And even when it was sitting there, it would guzzle gas somehow magically. And we had a Nintendo system in it that would drain the battery after every show. We'd be asking somebody for a jump start out in front of the club, but that lasted lasted a couple years, and then we bought another half-size school bus, and we kitted that one out. We even improved on the first one, and we toured in that, and it was in that very last school bus from St. John, New Brunswick, two of them from the same place, that we drove into the town of Kelowna, and we pulled into a club called Flashbacks on Thursday night. And I'm flashing back to the club of Flashbacks as I speak to you right now. So we pulled into Flashbacks, and we were ready to rock this joint, but I did have a bad feeling about it. I will tell you that much in advance. It seemed like the wrong place to be. It was a dance bar. But we had suffered through a lot. We had toured America for like 5 weeks in this half-size school bus, and getting a hotel room every 3 days and sleeping in it, and in the school bus. And we played a microbrewery in like Kansas one time. It was like an East Side Mario's or something. It was the most humiliating place ever. It was rough, let me tell you. So this couldn't be any worse. But we pulled into Flashbacks, and we set up our gear, and we rocked out earnestly. Well, 20 or 30 people who were there to dance were pinned at the back of the room, not enjoying themselves, because we were playing some pretty hard rock at that point, and they just weren't into it. And the promoter came up. I remember I was singing this song called "We Are Being Reduced." I was being reduced by this very situation where she walked up and she said, "Pick it up, we're dying in here." So, you know, that was bad enough. Whatever. We got through the gig and we packed up our stuff. We were going to collect our few $100 to get us where we had to go. And then this big guy came up to me. He was really positive. He was like, "Hey, man, were you in the band?" I was like, "Yeah, I was." He goes, "You fucking sucked." I just thought, "You fucking prick, man. I will get you back in your town and I will sing about you nightly." Called Rock It Out back in 2004, and then me and Pete Elkins, we flew out to Victoria, which leads me to the next vehicle, because I got a '98 Camry, which my father-in-law found in Victoria, and Pete and I toured in the Camry across Canada, 6 weeks going one way. It was epic. Anyway, I got a call from my agent, Tom, and he said, "Hey man, do you want to play the Big White Ski Resort?" I was like, "Yeah, where's that?" He's like, "Outside Kelowna." I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "How does 2 nights sound?" I said, "Excellent, sign me up." So we booked into the Big White Ski Resort, and I thought, this is gonna rock. We're gonna go there, and I'm gonna sing this song, and it's gonna be awesome. We get there, there's no mic cables, nothing. We have to go into Kelowna and buy some. So we go pick up some mic cables, and we set everything up ourselves. There's no sound man. And Pete and I played well to like a room of 70 hammered snowboarders, not one of them paying attention. And at the end, they cranked up Enter Sandman and started slam dancing. But the irony of it is, I sang Love This Town, and nobody even noticed, you know? So they got me back, you know? And then we went down to the dressing room. We were supposed to do 2 nights, and we were like, "Man, we gotta get out of here." So there was this Kokanee poster on the wall. We took it down. We did some really crazy graffiti on the wall, put it back there, and got out of town and hit the road, and that was that. So I've been back to Kelowna since. I hold my grudges for entertainment purposes, but this song is controversial, as I do have some in-laws there. So we try and get by. But the moral of this long-winded story is you have to treat every vehicle like it's going to get you somewhere, and you have to treat every show like it's the last night of the tour. And so we sing about that right now. Davey and me, face down in our suit, in some French restaurant outside Rivière de Loup. The last night of the tour, and we rocked that joint to the ground. Sing it for Toronto!